and a lot of Nigerians were happy that the Senate, for a moment, they are reacting to the emotions of Nigeria and listening to the Nigerian people. They came and they adopted the votes and proceedings today. But that's how all it ended. That clause 63 has been adopted and voted for in that manner.
Well, what I saw today was treachery.
What do you mean?
It was deceit. It was 419, the way we know it in Nigeria, obtaining by false pretense. First of all, Senator Munguno told Nigerians that they had to summon this session in order to listen to the yearnings of Nigerians, in order to take their will into consideration. What did they end up doing? They took their own will into consideration through the back door. What have we been saying? What we have been saying is that we want unconditional electronic transmission of polling unit results to preserve the integrity of our results. Let me make it clear. We do not have anything like electronic collation of results. What we have is electronic preservation, storage, and transmission of the manually generated polling unit results in order to preserve the integrity of the result. In other words, Nigerians have discovered that our problem is that in between polling unit and the collation center, a lot of abracadabra take place that mutilates, that inflates, that fraudulently manipulates the polling unit results in order to give you not what the people voted, but what the counters of the elections would want. What did the senators do today? What they did was that they said, oh, we can now electronically transmit with a proviso that when it is not possible to transmit, you will use the manual. That is the discussion we have been fighting for.
Is it not safer?
No, it is dangerous.
Can you trust technology 100%?
When it comes to this issue, I trust it 100%. Why am I saying so? INEC was the one who invented IRF portal. They have never complained for one day since they started using it, almost 2020, that technology failed them in uploading the result. Not one day. But let me tell you the funny thing. BVAS is the technological device that INEC chose to accredit voters. And BVAS, by section 47, subsection 1 to 3, they said you must accredit with BVAS. And when BVAS is not working, what do? They didn't say you should rely on the manual register of voters. They said you should cancel the election and reschedule it. And this is BVAS working throughout the day. Yet the consequence, if it is not working, is that you cancel the election. The same BVAS is what they said they are going to use to upload the scanned copy of the from EC8A on the IRF portal. One transaction. And then you're telling us that if that one transaction does not go, they should go back to the manual. No. That is legitimatizing the technical glitch which Yakubu Mohammed brought. Because what they are simply saying is that the proviso reads, when there is technical glitch, in quotes, by INEC, because they are the ones who will tell you they don't have network, then use the manual. That was exactly what happened in 2023. Amazon Website Services said there was no glitch. Nothing happened to their station. INEC said that there was glitch. And when you want to go to court, they will tell you, he that asserts should prove, even when you don't have the document. Let me tell you what the Supreme Court said about proviso. In the case of NDIC versus Okem Enterprises Limited, 2004, 10 Nigeria Weekly Law Report, part 880 at page 107. The Supreme Court said the purpose of proviso in a statutory enactment is to qualify or cut down the main clause in the statute preceding it. Remember what happened in the case of Ebegunde, Ebegunde and the Ondo State House of Assembly. The Supreme Court said that proviso means that, yes, if you defect from one party to the other, you lose your seat, provided that there is no division in the party. That is what the proviso does. The proviso destroys the main clause to the limit of whatever they say. So when they say that the proviso is that you cannot use manual, it has destroyed completely the electronically transmitted.
Let me break it down
that we have been fighting for.
Let me break it down.
So that is dubiousness. And let me tell you, the opposition senators displayed a lot of timidity and unintelligence. And the ruling senators, as they know, displayed a lot of mischief and dubiousness. They are the people that will want us not to even believe what we are seeing. You will catch them rubbing the leg of a woman, and they will tell you it's AI. Even what we are seeing, those ruling senators with their dubiousness, that is what they want to do to us.
Give me a moment. Let me break it down for our viewers. There are 3 layers on election day that are very critical to an election. The first is accreditation. The second is voting. And the third is result processing. For those who are election savvy, we know that these are the critical leg for an election to happen for you. You need to first of all be verified and certified to be able to partake in that election, which is a process of accreditation. In our own climb, it's a combined effort in once you are accredited, you vote immediately. The simultaneous voting and accreditation, which the Beavers is been primed to do. Meanwhile, in all of the 3 processes in Nigeria election, by our law, it is only one out of it that is electronically backed by law, which is the accreditation. Our voting manual, result collation manual. So there are those who are asking the question, can we go the old organ? There are those who are saying, if you cannot do the voting by electronic means, can you collect the result by electronic means? In the real sense of it, the election rigging, those years always happen when they stop the ballot and they thumbprint and they over thumbprint the ballot. But that is not a trend any longer, because accreditation electronically has been able to fight that. But where the problem has been over the years is the result collation and transmission of this result, which is by manual process. And that's where the debate is. So the question today is that there will be an harmonization committee, Mr. Okonwo.
Yes.
And when they go into the harmonization, procedurally, they are supposed to look at what the House of Reps had concluded since last year, what the Senate has arrived at. They will put it together, harmonize it, and form the bill that will now be taken for the presidential assent for gazetting once the president. We understand that the presidency is expecting that bill so that he can append his signature on it. But I know there will be further debate on this. The version of the House is different now from the version of the Senate. Which one do you think will supersede?
Now, the 2 versions should complete the intention of the Nigerian people.
Which is?
Just like it is written in section 47, subsection 3. He said, where the card reader or any technological device deployed by INEC for the accreditation of voters fails to function, the election should be cancelled and rescheduled. Where, because there should be no option as to electronically transmission of the election result from the polling unit in real time. Where it is not possible, the election in that polling unit should be cancelled and should be rescheduled. How many times have we cancelled any election because Beavers has not been working? 98% of the time you have been covering all election. Beavers had worked. And whenever Beavers does not work, they replace it. When they talk about this network, you begin to see that this is outright mischief. What am I saying that? Shem, we communicate on WhatsApp. At times you send a message on WhatsApp, and then it might not download because of network. Automatically when the network comes, it downloads. So what is the reason they're talking about? It is no reason. They simply want to sneak into that manual something so that they can manipulate and rig election. The issue of transfer or no transfer or network or no network Is no reason whatsoever.
But don't you think that is a middle point, politically arriving? And yes, for those who debate that there is need for electronic transmission will happen. But those who believe that we have not gotten to the point that we can go all in achieving the electronic transmission of result. Let's meet at the middle point. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work,
that's what I'm saying. There's no middle point to meet because we are not doing electronic voting. We're not doing electronic collation. We are simply saying preserve the manual so that everybody will see the election from the polling unit so that you can't go home to manipulate it. We remember what happened in Obiako. We remember what happened in Lagos. Every polling unit result was mutilated, was inflated. We saw it. It is still there on the internet. So that's why I'm saying when they're telling you halfway, no, because we are not doing any electronic voting. We're not doing electronic collation. What we are simply saying, when you finish that your manual, upload the scanned copy immediately before you have any chance to change it.
Now,
when you do any collation, if you check the regulations and guidelines of INEC, whenever you finish any collation, the collated result, you transmit immediately to the collation system, to the IREV, so that each level of collation will use the electronically preserved copy. It is not electronically.
And what the House of Reps version, you know that it was in this present law, Electoral Act Amendment of 2022, what the law says in sub 65 is how to transfer the result. But in these the House of Reps version, the sub 60 sub 5 talks about the punishment for anybody who fails to be able to transmit the result. But for those of us who still have institutional memory of our election, and there are governors who are now former governors now, that incident forms became a thing in our courtroom, because you know what the law says at the time and the guidelines of INEC, that when the card reader fails, the INEC official can revert to incident forms, and some states, they literally just abandoned the card reader and started using incident forms. But this is an experience I thought that those who are politicians and those who have institutional memory might be able to remember that that way was a bad route that we went. But is it okay for us to think that the struggle to achieving 100%, because the lawmakers are saying, remove real time, remove simultaneous, what's it called? Just leave it as that. The struggle continues. Is that what it looks like now?
Once they put that law that you must transmit from the polling unit, I'm okay. So any presiding officer will not leave the polling unit.
So you want them to remove the provisor?
No, completely. Because that is giving discretion to INEC to use manual. That is what we have been fighting for.
Do you think they can override the version of the House of Reps?
No, they cannot. There are two different houses.
Because the House of Reps version is the perfect version that a lot of Nigerians want. Real time, simultaneous, transmission of the result electronically. The House of Reps version has all of that.
Yes, the House of Reps should go for that, to say that where it is not possible to transmit from the polling unit, that election should be cancelled. It is there in the accreditation, which is more difficult. The uploading is just one single action.
But is it going to be fair that all of the process, because I analyzed for our viewers tonight, there are 3 processes. So if you are successful in accreditation, successful in voting, why would you cancel the entire process because you cannot transmit electronically the results?
Because the reason you're doing accreditation, the reason you're doing voting is for the result. So if you do all those things to get a fraudulent result, what have you gained? You have actually emboldened the criminals. You have actually voted for the criminals. Let me tell you, the only problem we have in this country is fraudulent elections. On the day we have free, fair, credible elections in Nigeria, 20 years after that, we'll become a superpower nation. Take my words for it. America is sustained today not because they don't have bad men, but because power lies with the people. And let me plead with Nigerians. They should not think this job is for the opposition. No. Democracy is not government of ADC. It's not government of APC. It's government of the people. Democracy, why I'm fighting is not because I'm in the opposition. No, I am fighting so that I will have the power to be able to determine who governs me, so that my sons and children will grow up in Nigeria where they have the power to determine who governs them. So this is a fight for all Nigerians, and we must come together, whether you're APC, whether you're PDP or PDP. What we are saying is power should belong to the people. Sovereignty belongs to the people, from whom the government derives all its power. And it is only through election that they exercise that sovereignty. Yeah. So this fight, Nigerians should know, journalists, everybody, because fraudulent elections produce fraudulent leaders, and everything will not work with fraudulent leaders. Nobody is fighting because he's in the opposition. No, we are fighting for the freedom to determine who governs us.
I'd like us to wrap up in this manner.